Welcome back to wagertalk.com. This is the video best bets part 2. And I promise you, we actually have games that people will watch this week. And we're going to start with, you weren't here yet, Preston, with the guys' best bets. They had some marquee matchups for their best bets this week.
I heard about Texas State, Georgia.
Oh, yeah, you come in at the end.
I think yours, which we want to talk about first. Virginia Tech, North Carolina is a little bigger than
just a little bit. ACC action. And talking about a sandwich spot, and I had mentioned in the other video about we do a sandwich section on our radio show. This is a prime candidate this week for it because you got a North Carolina team that's coming off a last-second win last week against Florida State. And then they got Miami of Florida up next on the road. Now, this is still an important game with Virginia Tech, but when you're sandwiched between those other two of the bookends, this is a tough spot for North Carolina. And this defense, it is bad. North Carolina can't stop anybody. When my Pitt Panthers go up and down, when my Pitt Panthers look like a Big 12 offense against North Carolina, they've got some problems. But I like Virginia Tech, and I know coming into the season, you like this Virginia Tech team as well. Justin Fuente, a great job at Memphis last year, and we're seeing a little bit of a decline at Memphis with him being gone. And what I like is that, Virginia Tech, they're always known for their running game. They're always going to be able to run the football. North Carolina can't stop anybody on the ground. But what I like about this Virginia Tech team this year with Fuente there is they've got a balanced offense. They're not one-dimensional. They are throwing the football. They're averaging over 200 yards a game throwing the football. And when you got a team that can do both, my Panthers couldn't do both against North Carolina, and it let North Carolina get back in the game for them to pull that one out. But after back-to-back weeks where they had last-second wins, it was 2 seconds in the Pitt game for North Carolina. Then last week, was the last 30 seconds against Florida
the
State.
kick was at the buzzer.
Yeah. So, I just can't see this team back-to-back weeks getting it done. I like Virginia Tech. I'm going to make them. They've had 2 weeks to prepare, another advantage, and, give a good coach that extra week to prepare against the team in a bad spot. I'm going to look at that all the time. I got Virginia Tech winning 31-27. I think they're a live dog here. I'm grabbing that for my video best bet. For you, you're going Thursday night action, and we just mentioned Memphis, and they're playing Temple. You're looking at Temple and Memphis. What do you got?
Yeah, my excuse me, my play's on Temple plus 10.5. And I think most places are 10 now, which I still think is fine. But there are a few 10.5s left if you can snatch them up. I also played Moneyline plus 329. I think this is a game that could go either way, honestly. My actual numbers line this like 6.5 and 7 for 2 different sets that I use. And so I was really surprised to see this at double digits at all. It's a Memphis team that, and we talked about this, maybe not on a video, but in a radio show or something that I did last week. It's hard to keep them all straight, to be honest.
Oh, you're everywhere.
It may have been here, but I didn't say that to bring that up. I apologize. But the Ole Miss spot I thought was really good. Playing a Memphis team that essentially had played like 3 FCS games. Right. And they looked really good to that point. But they hadn't really played and matched up against anyone. And so I went the route of playing Ole Miss in the first quarter and the first half, actually. But they ended up covering anyways the full game spread, too. And I just didn't think Memphis was that great of a team after losing Fuente to Virginia Tech, like you mentioned earlier in the video. I think there's still a lot to be learned about them. And for them to be laying double digits in a matchup that they generally have gotten dominated in. Like, there's a Paxton Lynch quarterback team last year. I don't remember off the top of my head. This could be incorrect, but I believe they only scored 17 against Temple last year. Temple's defense is fantastic. There's nothing to hate on them this year. P.J. Howard's been fantastic as well and just doing his thing. They're coming off a big win against, I think it was SMU last week. And so, it wasn't like it's some weird spot for Temple. I was just flabbergasted to see double digits. And then it got over to the hook at 10.5. I jumped in and hit it. But I definitely think the money line's worth some money as well. I think, honestly, even though I have the game 6.5 or 7, the matchup, I think, favors Temple even more. And so getting, what's more like a coin flip in my head at that price, had to bet it. That really is my biggest bet of the week.
Right, and I know you had a big week last week. Got to let you have a couple seconds here to brag about that and tell the listeners what you got going this week.
Sure. Well, it's nice when the whole weekend card goes really well, and it did do really well. I guess on the flip side, the people that bought, because last week I was the $2 Tuesday play was Washington, which won easily, and that's always nice for the people that don't generally buy plays. Get that, and they get a winner. And then the Jose Fernandez, charity play on Clemson ended up getting there as well. So, and that was a 5% play. That was one of our bigger ones this year. So it was a very, very good weekend. This weekend will be a little less volume, I imagine, and no 5% plays or anything. So I would recommend, if you're gonna want to get something, it'll probably just be like a weekend pass is the best option. The $69 deal starting tomorrow, and then we'll go from there.
Good stuff. I will have a 5% play on Saturday. I got my college game of the month going. You can check that out. It'll be part of my weekend all access package as well. So you got the best bets from Preston. He's going with Temple plus 10.5. I'm taking a smaller dog, taking Virginia Tech plus the 2.5 against North Carolina. That wraps it up for this week. Don't forget, $10 off any package when you use coupon code PATS and the number 10. That's PATS and the number 10. Save $10 at Wager Talk. Good luck this weekend. We'll be back with more videos next week.